This is our last call until July something. I haven't decided yet. I'm feeling like it's going to be later in July because here's my planned trajectory is that come end of June, there's going to be the whole relaunch, re-upload of the new curriculum. It's the same information that you're going to be familiar with, but formatted in a way that's going to be so much easier to work through, much more actionable, and there's going to be embodied practices for every little snippet of information that you get. Because here I am like flooding your brains with information while simultaneously saying, knowing information isn't going to get you far. So every bit of information that I give you in this new round of the program is going to have something embodied linked to it. So you'll see that change. And I would like to give you and whoever the new enrollees are who come into the program, like a month-ish, a couple, 3 weeks-ish to move through the curriculum, to get a feel for that, to get your hands dirty with it a little bit, then jump on some coaching calls. And that's where people are really going to have the questions and the feedback and the experiences to share. They're going to have had some time to sit with it all. So there's going to be a little bit of gap between when I introduce that new curriculum in Kajabi and when we dive into the live coaching calls again. So that means for you right now, you're looking at about 2 months without these one-on-one sessions. So my plan for the call today is to give you something to keep you on track, right? Something that you can hold to work with while these changes are all happening in Kajabi. I also have some actual, like, very gentle, beginner-friendly yoga practices and meditations and breathwork practices that I wanted to have uploaded prior to today's call. They're already recorded, but I don't know if some of you saw I got locked out of my Kajabi account somehow for 2 straight days. So nothing like a technical difficulty to throw a wrench in your plans. So those will be coming up soon. I just haven't had time to get them up there since I just got back into my account this morning. So I find that one of the biggest struggles in living an embodied life is that most of us who are reaching the point where we accept that we even need embodiment or that embodiment is something we need to learn about, we get to that point because we have been disembodied. So our default mode, our normal, is checked out, dissociated, distracted, invested in other people, overworking, like checked out from ourselves. So what can be really, really hard when we decide, hey, that needs to change. What's hard is seeing what you can't see. Do you know what I mean? It's the parable that I share with you about the fish. The 2 fish are swimming. The fish swims by and says, water's great. And the other fish goes, what's water? Like, we are so used to things being the way that they are. We are so used to being the way that we are that we cannot see what we can't see about ourselves. And usually, if it's being pointed out to us by someone in our lives, it's not going to be received well. For one thing, generally speaking, when someone is coming to you and pointing out something to you about yourself, it's probably because that behavior or that pattern or that trait of yours is causing some sort of problem that is prompting them to bring it to your attention. So that can come with all the shame and the reactivity that prevents us from actually diving in and getting to know it. So today's session is going to be a meditation that is designed to help you see what you can't see. And some of the stuff you realistically can see, it's there. You just don't want to know it's there. And some of the things that you'll approach in today's practice, you already know them, you're already familiar with them, and nothing's going to be surprising about that, like, realization of them. But I'm hoping that this session will also give you some practical steps for what to actually do about them, because the whole premise of this program is the realization of these things, the awareness of these things is not enough to actually change them. And in fact, the awareness of them, because it's not enough to change them, it can also be what's so humbling and frustrating because we can see them, But because we don't know what to do about them or how to shift them, then we're in that really humbling, uncomfortable place where we're just seeing the thing and we're kind of like, dang, I wish I could go back to before I could see it. So, without further ado, your body is always going to be able to tell you the things that you can't see. Your body is always revealing to you things that are below your consciousness. It's just that we're not tuning into the body enough to actually feel that the body is connecting with us or communicating to us. So that's our plan today. I would like for you to set everything down, take your pens and your pencils out of your hands, and settle into a position that you can get comfortable in for several minutes. So we're going to do a bit of a longer meditation here. The meditation we're diving into is what is going to enable us to access deeper awareness. And that just doesn't happen quickly. So give yourself a few moments, fidget around, make yourself comfortable. If you're sitting, see if you can sit evenly. So equal weight in your right sit bone, your left sit bone. If your feet are touching the floor, plant your feet evenly, right foot, left foot. And if you are in a space where you're able to lie down, do so, just because it's more comfortable, but not required. So give yourself another few moments just to settle in, find your place. And just start to bring your attention inward, into your body. And start by noticing your breath. Now, naturally, when we bring our attention to the breath, it tends to slow down and smooth out a little bit. But to the best of your ability, try not to manipulate the breath at all right now. Just let it flow as it is. And see what you notice about the breath. Start by exploring the landscape of your breath, like where you feel it in your body. Start by noticing your chest and your shoulders, maybe even your neck and throat. And feel any sensations related to your breath that you can feel in the chest, neck, shoulders. Maybe you can even breathe your next inhale into your upper back. Fill the space between your shoulder blades. And bring your awareness down to your rib cage. Again, you're not trying to do anything with the breath right now. Just let the body breathe itself. We're getting to know how the breath is showing up in the body in this moment. Maybe you feel the sides of your rib cage expanding just a little bit when you breathe in. Maybe you feel a sense of shrinking or contracting as you breathe out. For the next couple of breaths, be aware of the back of your rib cage. Not forcing breath back there, just seeing if there is any breath sensation in the back of your rib cage. And if you notice any tension in your low belly, see if you can relax your belly. And notice if you feel any breath sensation down there, down below your rib cage, in the front or back body. Good, and now we'll start to breathe with intention. So to participate in the breath, begin by exhaling completely, not rushed. We're not forcing the breath out of the lungs, just breathing slowly in and very slowly all the way out. Not too much focus on the inhales right now. Primarily focused on gradual, patient exhales. The next time you exhale, relax your jaw and face. And the next time you exhale, relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. The next time you breathe out, relax your glutes, your legs, ankles, and feet. And follow another exhale all the way to its end. Empty your lungs completely. And now practice breathing into the backs of your lungs. And this can be challenging. But for the next few rounds of breath, do your best to continue exhaling all the way until your lungs are empty. And practice breathing into the backs of your lungs. So the back of the rib cage, the space between your shoulder blades. Belly is still relaxed. If you can, relax the muscles of your pelvic floor. This will allow your diaphragm to move with a bit more freedom. Jaw and face are soft. One more round of breath here. One more inhale into the back body and exhale to empty the lungs. And then switch your awareness to the sides of your torso, from your armpits all the way down to your hips. Practice breathing into that space now. So as you inhale, feel the lungs expand wide into the sides of your body. And as you exhale, feel the ribs shrink back in toward the spine. Legs are relaxed. Pelvic floor is relaxed. Jaw is relaxed. Eyes are relaxed. You might even relax your tongue inside your mouth. Now continue breathing out into the sides of your rib cage, or really the sides of your whole torso. But now also, on the next inhale, breathe into the back body again. So that now as you breathe, your exhales are emptying your lungs, and your inhales are filling the sides and backs of your lungs. And this is just a practice, so don't take it too seriously. There's no need to get frustrated with yourself if you can't access some of these spaces with your breath. It's just an exploration. Just know that even the attempt to breathe into these spaces is deepening your awareness of your body and your breath, and that is a good thing. That's the whole point. And so continue to breathe like this, into the back and sides of the rib cage and all the way out. Maybe you can even stretch your next exhale a second or two longer. Keep breathing slowly as you draw awareness up to your face and just sense both eyes in their sockets. Relax any squinting around the eyes. Even relax your cheeks. your eyebrows and your forehead. Bring your awareness to your ears. Feel them. Feel the muscles around your ears. And for a moment, listen to the sounds in your environment. Continue listening to that soundscape and be aware of your breath at the same time. And check back in with your jaw. Soften the jaw, the muscles of your throat, the sides of your neck, and the back of your neck. See if there's any opportunity to lengthen your neck. Maybe dip the chin down or draw it back toward your throat. And connect your awareness to the space between your shoulder blades. And maybe invite a softening in those muscles if that's available. And sense both shoulders in their sockets. Sense the upper arms, the elbows, forearms. And pause for a few breaths, noticing your wrists and hands. Now be aware of both arms all the way from shoulders to fingertips. And for a few breaths, feel your arms. Be aware of any sensations present in either arm, from shoulders to fingertips. Bring awareness to your collarbone and your sternum. And see if you can soften any of the muscles of your chest. Sense the armpits and the shoulder blades on the back. And drop awareness into the rib cage. For a few rounds of breath, be aware of the movement of your rib cage as you breathe in and breathe out. And you might check back in with the path we've traveled so far, checking in to soften any tension that may have crept back into the face or the neck or the arms. And with an exhale, bring your awareness around to your spine. Sense your spine all the way from the base of your skull down to your pelvis. And tune your awareness to the muscles that run alongside your spine. And with awareness resting in the back of your torso, feel any sensations that are present there and breathe. Bring awareness around front to your belly. Feel the muscles of your belly. And then even deeper than that, maybe you can feel your organs, maybe your digestive system, or even if you can't identify which organ or which muscle, Tune to any sensation that you feel in your lower torso. Perhaps you can even try to send an inhale in the direction of your lower back here. And drop your awareness down into the pelvis. Start by noticing the back of your pelvis, the sacrum, place where the spine plugs down into the pelvis. Sense your glutes. Sense your hips in their sockets and feel all the muscles that surround the hip joint. Scanning for any sensation that's present here. Feel the fronts of your hips, the whole front of your pelvis. And drop awareness down into the pelvis. It is bowl-shaped. And so pour your awareness into the pelvic bowl. Feel any sensations that are present here. And now move awareness down into your thighs. Perhaps you can sense the femur bone dense at the center of your thigh and all the muscles that surround that thigh bone. And feel any sensation present in your knees, front or back. And down into the lower legs. Be with your ankles, feet, and toes now, aware of any sensations present there. And now for a few breaths, be present with both legs from hips to toes, feeling any sensation present there. Your breath is slow. Each breath is complete, meaning you follow through to its end. As you feel the legs for one more round of breath. The next time you inhale, expand your awareness to fill your entire body, from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Be aware of the whole right side of your body and the whole left side of your body, the front and back of your body, and the whole universe of sensation happening inside of your body. Practice remaining aware of your breath as you notice any sensations that are arising and getting your attention throughout your body. Now, as you scanned your awareness through the body, you likely came across some sensations that were uncomfortable to some degree or another. And I'll invite you now to locate one of those uncomfortable sensations that are present in your body. Locate it as specifically as you can. And as your awareness arrives and settles in with that discomfort, I want you to be watchful and see if you can discern or separate out the sensation itself from any reactions you are having to the sensation. A reaction can be an emotion that you're feeling. You do not need to be able to name or identify the emotion. Simply feel the emotion as something separate than the sensation it's reacting to. Reactions can also be thoughts, worries about the sensation, ideas about what might be causing it, ideas about what might fix it, ideas about what that sensation means. So for a few more rounds of breath, stay aware of your breath. Practice being with this discomfort in your body and noticing the sensation versus the reactions to it. Take one more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, let your awareness drift sort of out of your body into the environment around you and feel how that environment is feeling to your body. Are there sounds happening? Notice the temperature, maybe the movement of air in that space. You might even notice the fabric of your clothing touching your skin, or the sensation of your body resting against whatever you're sitting or lying on. And notice that your environment is what it is, and your body is experiencing your environment in whatever way it is. And you may have some thoughts or feelings about the environment and about how your body is feeling in that environment. Spend a few breaths here aware of what you're feeling, physically feeling in terms of sensation, and emotionally feeling about your body's experience. And if nothing's coming up, that's okay. You don't need to try to force anything to come through here. Just practice breathing and feeling what your body is feeling. And as though your body were a sponge, start to absorb your awareness back into your body. Your awareness is filling your whole body right now. So not focused on any one targeted sensation, but allowing all sensations to be present. And practice being aware of all sensations that you can notice in your body in this moment. There may be a correlation between what your body is experiencing and the thoughts that you find yourself thinking or the mood that you find yourself in. There are many layers to ourselves. The physical body is feeling sensation right now. That is one layer. Emotions might be moving through you, whether or not you can name or understand them. And that's the emotional layer of the self. And thoughts may be moving through the mind. And that's the mental layer of the self. Bring all of your awareness back into your breath. As we explored the rest of the body with awareness, you may have noticed your breath got a little shorter, or maybe a little more inconsistent. And so take this opportunity now to come back into that slow, complete breath. Aware of the breath and aware of the whole body. Aware of every sensation that moves through the body, and aware of any reactions that you're having to sensations or to anything else. Not so that you can do anything about any of this, but just so that you are able to be aware of these different layers of self. Feel your feet. Feel your shoulders. Feel your left hand. Feel your right leg. Feel your right hand. And feel your left leg. Feel the back of your torso and the front of your torso. Feel your face and jaw and the movement of your lungs as you breathe. Your task right now is to keep your awareness rooted in your body. You may drift away from the breath for a moment, but when you notice that your awareness has drifted into thought or into something happening in your environment, just call awareness back into your body. That is your task right now. Awareness anchored in the body. And as you feel your body, I'm going to take you on a little journey by naming different aspects of human life. Some of these may not apply to you, or rather, some of these may have no reaction whatsoever within you. Some of these may be completely neutral. But some of these, when I name them, your body will have a reaction. And you will be able to feel that reaction in your physical body. You are not to try to understand anything. You are not thinking through any of this. To the best of your ability, you are remaining aware of sensation in your body and the flow of your breath. And so the first thing I'll name is finances and budgeting. When I say those words, finances and budgeting, locate the sensation that arises in your body. Where do you feel your reaction to this? Is it a pleasant or unpleasant sensation? You may notice thoughts or beliefs or emotions showing up. Practice staying with your breath and observing your body's reaction to the words finances and budgeting. And you can keep your eyes closed, but the next time you breathe in, be aware of the environment around you. And as you breathe out, return awareness into the body. And the next thing I'll name is romantic relationships. So maybe you're dating or maybe you are in a relationship, but as you bring that aspect of your life to mind, how does your body react? Are you feeling a sense of peace and contentment in the body with regards to the realm of romantic relationships in your life? Again, we're not trying to think through this. This is not solution finding. This is sensation finding. Feel your breath and feel how your body is feeling about relationships or your relationship. You will not be required to share anything or to take any action on any of this. We are simply taking inventory of ourselves, letting the body tell us what we're at peace with in our lives versus where there is something that is an obstacle to peace in our lives. On your next inhale, breathe in and feel the environment around you. And breathe out, return awareness to your body. And when I say the word alcohol, where do you feel your reaction in your body? When you consider your relationship to drinking alcohol, no need to tell any stories or to think of any solutions. Just feel where sensation arises in your body. Practice breathing slowly as you stay with that sensation. On an inhale, sense your environment. On an exhale, return to the body and see where sensation shows up when I say smoking. And remember that emotions are sensations too. And remember, you don't have to be able to name the emotion. You can feel it without understanding it. Practice feeling sensation in your body and breathing as you sense your reaction to the word smoking. Slow your breath down. Exhale all the way. Breathe in, experience your environment around you. Breathe out, return awareness inside the body. When I say the word exercise, where do you feel sensation in the body? And when you locate your body's reaction to the word exercise, practice breathing and being present with that sensation. Your jaw is soft, your face is relaxed. You're aware of your whole body, arms and legs, front and back, feeling your body's reaction to the word exercise. On your next breath in, tune to sounds around you. And as you breathe out, drop back into the body. And feel your body's reaction to the word nutrition. And you're feeling into what your body is telling you about your relationship with nutrition. Nothing to think about, nothing to plan. For now, you're just practicing finding sensations in your body and breathing. As you breathe in, expand awareness outside of your body. And when you breathe out, drop back in, feel your legs, feel your arms, feel your breath. And when I say the word meditation, where does that invoke sensation in the body? As you contemplate meditation, notice any reactions. And take another deep breath in here, tune to the world around you. Breathe out, tune to your body. When I invite you to consider your relationship with your phone or social media, what is your body's reaction? Locate the sensation. Feel your breath at the same time. Now I'll invite you to get a bit more specific and consider a person in your life. And there may be many, but just pick one. A person in your life whose struggles and stressors are distressing to you. Perhaps someone who is behaving in a way that isn't healthy for them or is doing something that you wish they wouldn't do. And as you think about this person, you might even think about the specific behaviors or actions that you find distressing. And see where you're feeling all of that in your body. Locate the sensation. Feel any emotions that are present without trying to understand or necessarily name them. Soften your face, your jaw. The next time you breathe in, be aware of the space around you. As you breathe out, feel your feet, your hands, your shoulders, and your hips. And when I say the word friendship or friends, locate your body's reaction to that. Find that sensation. Take a breath in, experience the world around you. As you breathe out, drop into the world within you. Imagine your brain is a muscle you could relax. And let this exercise fall away. Come back to where we started, just with the breath. Follow your next exhale all the way out. Breathe into the sides and backs of your lungs when you breathe in. When you're ready, blink your eyes open and grab your journal or your notebook, whatever you're using, and draw a line down the middle of the page. So you've got two columns. In the first column, write at peace. And in the second column, write not at peace. We don't have to get any more specific than that. And I'm going to read back through these different aspects of life that I listed. And I want you to tap back into how your body reacted and what you noticed in your body when you contemplated these different aspects of your life. And don't complicate this. If you felt unpleasant, uncomfortable sensations, write that down, write that aspect of life down in the not at peace column. If it's something that you're actually feeling good about or neutral about, write that in your at peace column. So I'll give you a moment to write your columns down here, to write your at peace, not at peace. And returning to those different aspects of life. When I said budgeting and finances, put that in the column where it belongs in terms of your reaction or your relationship to it. And when I said dating or your relationship, and keep in mind, this doesn't have to mean, like if you're in a relationship, it doesn't have to mean you're unhappy in that relationship. But if you felt anything funky, any unpleasant sensations, that's just the body telling you that there's something there that needs tending to, but we're not getting into those details right now. When I said alcohol, are you at peace or not at peace with your relationship with alcohol? Jot that down in your column. And when I said smoking, where does that belong? Which column in your life? Where does exercise go? And write nutrition in whatever column it belongs in. And where does meditation go? Are you at peace with the concept of meditation or your relationship with meditation or not? And when I invited you to consider your relationship with your phone or with social media, how are you feeling about that relationship? And I invited you to consider the concept of friendship in your life. How are you feeling about friendship in your life? And I invited you to think of a specific person and to write that person's name down in one of these columns. But I would actually encourage you to do this with all of the people that are close to you or that are part of your inner circle. Again, it gets complicated when we talk about our relationships with people. I'm not asking you to take action on any of this. You never have to share this with anyone. You don't have to do anything about it, but it is worth knowing who in your life brings you peace versus who in your life you have a more contentious relationship with. And that could have more to do with you over involving yourself in their problems. So it's not even mean of you to say, this person stresses me out. It might not even be about them. So you've got your two columns now. And as you look at your list, specifically the list of things that you are not at peace with, I want you to circle the one that is the most daunting, the one that you least want to be present with, the sensation that was hardest for you to stay with, or the one that your mind had the most to say about, or the one that you felt the most emotions about, like the biggest, most intense one. Circle it and just write like daunting or most intense or most unpleasant, make note that that's the one that's like you have the most resistance or the most reaction to it. And then I want you to circle the one that is most important for you. So again, we're looking at the things that we're not at peace with. And I want you to circle the one that you're like, that's gotta change. Like, that is a priority. I'm not saying you got to change it by next week, but you're like, I will not live out the rest of my life with that still being a thing. So the one that is most important, the one that is most costly for you, most damaging to you, the one that you are maybe most motivated to change, circle that one and maybe put like a bunch of exclamation points by it. So it's like, this is a high priority. And then I want you to circle the one that seems the easiest to tackle, the one that you don't have much resistance to, or you've got some resistance, but it's not like big, heavy feelings. It might not be exciting, but it's doable. And circle that one. All right. Now I am hoping someone hop into the chat and let me know if you can see this document that I'm sharing. Just say yes if you can see it. Sweet. All right. So your homework between now and forever, but in our time off of our coaching calls, is to identify for each of these things that you listed in your not at peace column, to identify which of these 4 phases you are in when it comes to that specific thing. So like, for budgeting and finances, maybe in this meditation, this was the first time that you ever realized that you had a funky relationship with money. So for you, you would be in phase 1, which is identify. So I'll list out these 4 phases for you. The first phase is identifying the thing, becoming aware that there is an issue, that there is something in your life that needs your attention. Step 1, identify. Step 2 is to observe. So continuing on with the example of finances, you start to notice how, you put the bills on the back of your desk, or you start to notice how your body feels when your bills come in the mail, or how your body feels when you're spending money, or how your body feels when you sit down to do a budget. It's just the phase of observing your relationship with the thing that you've identified is in need of some change. So once we've had some time to observe our relationship with the thing, we move on to step 3, which is where we create a plan for how to shift our relationship with that thing. So you're like, okay, I know I have a strained relationship with money and finances. So my plan for this is that every time I sit down to do my budget, to look at my bills, first I'm going to do a 10-minute breath meditation so that I can remain aware of my breath throughout the whole process. And I'm going to schedule a break 20 minutes into my budgeting process so that I can step away, go look at some sunshine, connect with my breath, pet my pets, and then come back to it. So we create a plan for how to shift this in a way that utilizes the nervous system to rewire our relationship with that thing in our lives. And then step 4 is to embody that plan, right? It doesn't matter if you make that plan, if you just think to yourself forevermore, that was a really good plan I came up with. You have to do the plan for it to actually create the change in your life. That is the full embodiment of the process. So phase 4 is where you're actually sitting down to do your budget, as an example, and you're doing the 10-minute breath meditation before you start the budgeting. And you are setting the timer for 20 minutes to take the break. And then you're getting up and you're taking the break. You're drinking the water, you're going outside, you're petting your animal, you're coming back to it. You're embodying the plan. Okay, so we can't look at embodiment as this one thing, these four phases of embodiment. It's not just embodiment in general. These phases are in play for each and every thing we are trying to embody in our lives. So, not right now, because it would take too long, but in the coming weeks, I would like for you to dog ear this page in your journal. So, put your little dog ear on there because you're going to return to this page. What y'all have just done is you have created basically a catalog of journal prompts. You have so much to write about now that you've done this. You might not want to, and that will also be something to observe. Step 2 is observing yourself. Now that you've identified the things that you're not at peace with, you can observe the things that you're avoiding unpacking, the things that you're avoiding writing about, the things that you're avoiding doing, right? But regardless, your homework in the next few weeks is to identify for each of those line items in your not at peace column, to identify for each one which of these phases you're in. Like Chrissy was just sharing at the beginning of the call, she hasn't drank since November. So she right now is in phase 4 when it comes to her plan to kick alcohol. She's embodying that plan. She is doing it, right? Whereas some of you might be in phase 1 or 2 of the alcohol part of your life, where you're like, yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I'm not at peace with my relationship with alcohol, or yeah, I've known for a while I'm not at peace with how much alcohol I'm drinking. So you're in the observation phase because you know, but you're observing yourself still doing it. I could give millions of examples, but for each one of those items in your column of things that you're not at peace with, I want you to identify, and you can just put like 1 with a circle around it, 4 with a circle around it. Identify which phase you're in for each of those things. And I'm going to provide these journal prompts outside of Zoom as well, but there is a whole slew of journal prompts here. So every journal entry, so anytime you find yourself, I strongly recommend trying to just sit down and write every day, not because you're going to like it, not because you're going to be perfect at it, but because the practice of thinking about it every day is going to make you journal way more often. And the more often you journal, the easier it becomes. So one journal entry can tackle one of these line items, and you might write about the same thing for 5 different journal entries. But my point is, I want you to sit down and tune into your body, right? So tune into your body, find your breath, wiggle your toes, move your shoulders, and see if you can stay aware of your breath as you journal about these line items, as you journal about these things in your life that you're not at peace with. And I have provided so many questions for you to work with. You don't have to answer them all, but I would be very watchful of the questions that you don't want to answer. Sometimes those are the ones you need to answer the most. I can't babysit you on this, but just like notice what you're avoiding. Avoiding stuff is not going to help you in your life. So you can ask questions like, which of the phases am I in when it comes to this thing? What sensations or emotions do I feel in my body when I think of it? Where's the exact location of that sensation? What beliefs do I have about this? Or what experiences have I had with this thing in the past? Have I tried to create change on this in the past? If so, how did it go? How do I feel about how it went? Is that impacting my desire to try again? Is changing this important to me? And if so, why? How am I feeling in my body right now as I write about this? Check in with your body. What am I afraid would happen if I did create change in this aspect of my life? What am I afraid will happen in the process of creating those changes? What are 2 actionable steps I can take toward creating change in this aspect of my life? What is the cost of not changing this? In other words, why don't I want this to keep happening? Am I feeling shame around this? And this is a huge one. This is the reason that we tend to avoid writing about this stuff or ever dealing with them. And this is the reason so many people take their unhealthy habits to the grave, is because they can't get through their shame. They don't even want to approach it. So if you're feeling shame around some of these things, that's normal. Normalize that. And if so, think about the person you love the most in your life and imagine they were struggling with the exact same thing. And would you be able to find compassion for them? Would you be able to understand why they made the decisions that they made that led them to this point? And can you do that to yourself or for yourself? And you can do that by asking yourself the question, what are my reasons for doing this? Like Laura shared in the last call, which I loved. She's like, I can never let myself rest when I'm at home. I always have to be doing something. And when we really got to the root of why, it was literally something like, my house is going to fall apart. And as she said it out loud, she was like, that's like not even a good reason. That's not even a real fear. So really dive into what are my reasons for doing this, or what are my reasons for avoiding changing this? And then I've listed all these affirmations that you can use to get yourself through this process. I can do hard and uncomfortable things. I am ready to prove to myself how capable I am. I am ready to stop living in fear and making excuses. I am ready to live my life with intention. I trust myself to follow through. My growth is a priority to me. I will be sending these all to you. You will have access to this whole document. This is what I'm calling embodied journaling. We are using the sensations in our body to become aware of what is within us. And then we are remaining aware of our body and our breath as we journal about what is within us, as we take it out of us and put it on paper. This is all I have for you today. So you are welcome to unmute yourself if you have any questions or any comments. You're also welcome to throw it in the chat if you're not in a place where you can or want to talk right now.
So that was amazing. As soon as you, and it was, everything felt so peaceful and relaxed, even, the budgeting, and you're going through dating relationships. I've been single for a long time, but I'm at peace with that, and that didn't bother me. And then as soon as you said alcohol, my chest rose up like something was choking me. And then you said smoking, because that's the one I did that before the alcohol. And it just got tighter and tighter, and I just kept breathing, and I was like, this is what this is about. So
Mhm.
thank you for all these prompts to help me work through this as I go through the non-negotiable challenge that I'm going to get through.
You're so
So,
welcome.
yeah, thank you.
You are welcome. Yeah, the body knows. Like the body knows things that we have hidden from ourselves up in our minds, or things that we've just sort of suppressed, or they're kind of like back in the recesses of our minds. But then when we do that practice of tuning into the body, it tells us everything we need to know. It really does.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's definitely, yeah.
Hmm.
And I think I honestly, I know this is so weird to openly say, but I've opened my eyes to nudism culture over the past year, and it has helped me with shame in such a way that I actually I enjoy leaning into shame, because it allows me, once I get beyond the shame of something, then I can see things so much more clearly. So that helped me a lot with this work that you're teaching me as well. So yeah.
Yeah. That makes so much sense, honestly.
Mhm.
Shame is such a such an obstacle that it doesn't need to be. It feels so huge and so icky. But I went on a writing retreat one time, and I have a cat that is biting my ankle right now. Can you please? I went on a writing retreat, and we were given the prompt to write about the thing we're most afraid of. And I hated doing that. And once I wrote about it, though, I realized it's not actually as scary as I thought it was. Like once I actually wrote it all on paper, I was like, oh, it was kind of like, I was sharing, Laura talking about resting at home. Um, and things are really just like when we actually investigate them, they're rarely as bad as we think they are, but because we're so afraid of them, we won't even approach them. So shame is the same way. I find that we feel so ashamed of something that we don't even want to look at it. And then the more we avoid it, the more the shame runs our lives, and the more we feel bad about ourselves because then we're ashamed that we're avoiding it.
Right.
In reality, if we just lean into the shame, if we go toward the things that we're ashamed of, it's never as bad as we think it is. It really isn't.
Mm. It's funny you touch on that because that is like my number one. And yeah, it's just working on that, believing in yourself. Yeah, that's I know exactly where you're coming from.
Shame is just a sensation in the body. And just like Chrissy was saying at the beginning of this about how she has those cravings for alcohol and then she just breathes and then lo and behold, the sensation, the craving passes. Shame can really be the same way, especially if we're taking action. Like I shared budgeting and finances first because that's one of my biggest struggles. That's something I have a lot of shame around, so I've avoided it. And then like I said, the shame snowballs on itself. And in a weird way, shame is an evolutionary advantage because it is a way for the body to communicate to us like, hey, you're not living in alignment with your values here. That's kind of what shame is communicating to us.
Right, right.
Unfortunately, we interpret shame as saying you are a bad person. And so
Mhm.
because that
Mhm.
feels so terrible, we won't even look at it. But I would encourage you to get familiar with the sensation of shame in your body and then just like retranslate it to mean, hey, you're not living in alignment with your values here. And that is just a call to action. It's just a call to attention. We stay in shame if we don't do anything about it. If we just keep avoiding it, that is only going to deepen the shame. But if we can look at it and go, okay, all right, I'm not living in alignment with my values. There's something here that I need to tend to. There's something I need to make right in my life. Then at that point we can actually start to relieve some of the shame because we can go, oh, look, I'm doing something about it. That feels really good. And that's like the opposite of shame is when we actually start to take action. So I think sometimes we think we need to overcome the shame and feel good about ourselves in order to do the thing that we're feeling ashamed of or to do the thing that we need to do to not feel shame. But actually, I think we have to see the shame and then just lean into it and then take action anyway, not wait to feel excited or better about ourselves because it's the taking action that often helps the shame the most.
Thank you, Kristen. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think anyone was saying anything.
Oh, I thought your dad was going to say something. This is very helpful. Very helpful. Part of it was to see, it's kind of eye-opening. When you said, right, do the columns, I'm like, uh-oh, okay, here we go. Like, oh, geez. But then as you started naming it, I'm like, oh, okay, like I put a smiley, smiley. So I have more at peace than not. But I
Yay.
have two biggies not at peace.
Good to
Those are,
Yeah, I
but
did the same.
yeah, but there's more that are at peace, which is kind of nice. And maybe, I don't know, that's where I'm at in my life too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I did want to say, Chris, you know, God bless you. Best of luck with what you're doing and the challenges ahead. I'm certainly not one to give any tips because I've struggled with alcohol all my life.
Me
So
too. Me too. Even when I'm in my younger years, I was a bartender and I went to an AA as a bartender, like in my 20s. And they're like, you got to
yeah,
quit your job. I'm like, over my dead
yeah,
body. I love the live music.
right, right. I
So
have
this,
found not that this is any real help, being that you're abstaining altogether, but what I have found my relationship with alcohol used to be get drunk. That was it. How many beers could I pound? Now it's more of a social thing, and I don't have to get drunk now. And that, at least, if there's any win for me, that's one thing.
yeah,
But
it was just that I don't
yeah,
want it to be a daily part of my life anymore. My dad went down to
yeah, good for
of
you.
the liver, and
Like you said,
I,
I
oh, I'm sorry, you cut out.
yeah, good for you. Good for you.
I think it's important that we don't have all or nothing thinking with any of this stuff. So, whether it's like your
Mhm.
exercise, your smoking, your drinking, any of these things that you've listed, I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make, we being everybody, every client I've ever worked with, is that we struggle to overcorrect. We always try to do the opposite of the thing. So, okay, so I'm drinking more than I want to be drinking, so I'm going to stop drinking. That is a huge correction to make, especially if it's a habit you've been in lifelong. So, I do think there is value in saying, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to drink only on these days of the week. For some of these really big habits, we really do have to shift slowly, consciously, and intentionally out of them. Otherwise, our nervous system is just going to freak out. So I do think that it is a win. I do believe you can call it a win to say, I have made steps in the right direction, because none of this stuff is ever going to get solved instantly. I mean,
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. Progress is all, no matter how big of a gain, it's still a gain and it's not a loss. So no matter what, yeah.
yep, I'm a big fan of like, I know everyone in this group is very self-growth oriented. That's why you're here. You are introspective people. And as people who are introspective, we have a tendency to always be focused on what we need to be working on. But I will encourage you often to pause and look back 10 years and see how far you've come. Look back 5 years and see how far
Mhm.
you've come. Do not forget to look backwards and see how far you've come from where you were, and let that motivate you to stay on the path. But don't forget to celebrate how much you've already grown.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Do you have any questions for me? I'm not going to see you live like this until July. So actually, this isn't true. You heard it here first. At the end of June, um, I'm going to be hosting a live digital retreat. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's going to be free. It's going to be open to the public. You'll be able to share it with everybody. And basically it's going to be 3 different days. And we're going to do probably like an hour and a half each day. And essentially what we're going to be doing is condensing the whole curriculum here into 3 days of meditation, embodied practices, and journaling. So I will be hosting that live at the end of June. So I will see you then, hopefully. And then I will be opening enrollment for our program right after that. And then we will be launching the new curriculum beginning of July. And then we'll be doing a coaching call probably end of July. And that's when we'll pick back up. So you guys can always email me. Facebook group's still going to be running, so you can still post in there if you have questions for me. Like, I'm reachable. We're just not going to be doing live coaching calls till July.
so are we in that new next group
Yeah, you guys are.
automatically?
Yeah,
We're
you're
in for life, right?
So
Or
when you sign up, you're a member for life. You're just going to be,
okay.
it's just going to look different when you log in July. The modules are going to be much more accessible. And Laura, I think you might have hopped on right after I said this, but
I
in
did.
it's okay, it's okay. In the new curriculum, you're going to see embodiment practices for every
Mm,
piece of information I'm teaching, right? So
wonderful.
when I'm
Wonderful.
teaching boundaries, you'll be doing similar meditations to what we did today to like feel in how your body is experiencing the concept of boundaries in your life. So anyway, it'll be much heavier on the embodiment side
Do you have any idea of the dates?
of the dates for the live retreat.
Yeah,
Yes, I believe that I'm going to be launching this probably.
I won't hold you to it, but I'm just an idea.
It's going to be the last week of June. I haven't decided on exactly which
Oh,
day.
good.
That last
Okay.
week of June.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And you'll be getting blasted with information about this. So it will be hard to miss. You will be getting emails and there will be like Facebook ads for this. Like you'll be hearing all about it. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm in the process of building out like
Oh.
the registration page and stuff like that so everyone can sign up and know all the details.
Exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. All right, y'all. I gotta hop off here because I gotta get ready to go teach some
You
yoga.
too. Okay. Thanks, Kristen. It was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yep, thanks, Ann.
Very welcome. Thanks for being here,
Okay.
everyone.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.